Hello and welcome. My name is Mayank Shekhar. That's Fahad Summer, and you're on India's first full-length film review show on television. That's Friday Double Bill. As usual, this week also we'll tell you whether we think a film playing at a theatre near you is a Dekho or a Peko.
Antoine Fuqua directs Southpaw, the story of Billy Hope, reigning junior middleweight boxing champion of the world. Jake Gyllenhaal plays Billy Hope, a man who seemingly has it all, with an impressive career, a beautiful and loving wife, an adorable daughter, and a lavish lifestyle. When tragedy strikes and his lifelong manager and friend leaves him behind, Hope hits rock bottom and turns to an unlikely savior at a rundown local gym. Tick Willis, played by Forrest Whitaker, a retired fighter and trainer to the city's toughest amateur boxers. With his future riding on Tick's guidance and tenacity, Billy enters the hardest battle of his life as he struggles with redemption and to win back the trust of those he loves.
Well, Antoine Fuqua, I love that name. You know, and also it must be said, Fahad, I've been following his work over a period of time, and he comes across to me as this, B-level blockbuster filmmaker, and sometimes he does get it right. He makes very cliched kind of movies. Olympus Has Fallen, which I watched in 2013. Well, it had all the cliches of a disaster picture, of course, set in the White House, but it had something going for it, which I enjoyed for its own sake. Now, this is another movie in its own way as cliched, because what is it really talking about? It's talking about whether life gives you another chance. And now with a movie, which is a genre of its own, now with a film like that, you already know what's going to happen throughout the picture. You can predict all the plot points, which is the same with this film also. The second thing, what could this movie be about, Fahad, is I think about anger management. How do you deal with anger? And of course, there's a boxer right at the center of the ring, who goes up and down in his career. That's pretty much what we're watching. He's also 43 years old, so he should be really down in his career anyway. But I thought the one thing that I liked about this picture was the performance. I think Jake Gyllenhaal delivers that knockout punch performance, given that he is punch drunk throughout the picture. What did you think?
Well, absolutely. What is shocking is that Mr. Fuqua actually wanted to cast Eminem in the lead role. Mercifully, that didn't work out, and Jake Gyllenhaal steps in. Now, after Nightcrawler, this is again an absolutely rock-solid performance. I mean, of course, there's tons been written about the 5 months that he spent, working out and becoming this character, and that's really the mark of a great actor. And whether it's Raging Bull and De Niro, or you have Rocky at the other end of the spectrum in every sense of the term. I mean, you've got all these films, so you've seen the boxing tropes, you've got the trainer, you've got the devoted wife, you've got the sequences, the training sequences, you've got the young daughter whose love you have to earn back.
Every possible cliche.
Every trope, every cliche, and 2 hours of utter nonsense. At the end of it, all you're doing is appreciating Gyllenhaal as he puts in such a sincere performance, completely let down by the director and the script.
Well, Fahad, I think in a movie where you can tell exactly what's going to happen every possible minute, the only thing that is left for you to do is look at how they're going to do that differently. And for me personally, if I were to look at one particular scene, Fahad, there's that one sequence, if you remember, which happens in a ballroom. It's a charity dinner, and that's where a shootout takes place. And that shootout, usually in every possible movie that I can think of, would happen really fast, and then an ambulance that comes in and somebody who dies. Now they actually linger on into that in that scene for so long. They almost freeze that moment where the lead character's wife, and I'm not giving any national secrets away, the lead character's wife gets shot, and then she could die or she could not die. And I think that particular sequence, the way that emotion was staged, I thought, to be fair to Mr. Fuqua, was a great job.
Well, Mayank, I'm glad you enjoyed that sequence, because I personally found it so melodramatic and annoying and just been stretched on endlessly. The other thing I found particularly annoying about the film was the child. I mean, she's meant to be cutesy, but I just found her excruciating as far as how cloying she was. And I mean, this is as we said, these tropes of the film where you have to go through the motions and suffer these scenes with the father and daughter having to go through their things. You just want to get on with the fight, let him regain his glory, and let's finish the film. And I was just hoping for that.
Well, the other thing, Fahad, that I noticed about this picture, it was a life lesson for me, is how quickly you can go from becoming, world champion, a really rich man with a mansion, and right down on the street with having no money at all. This is a rags to riches. Actually, no, rags to riches to rags all over kind of cliche story. But of course, it's also a boxing film for all those who love boxing as a genre. From my side, I wish I'd seen it on DVD, if at all. Otherwise, it's a pickle.
I completely agree with you, Mayank. I mean, this is really Pico material, but then perhaps on DVD or on TV some late at night one day, you may just find yourself, sitting through it. It's not even a lightweight film as far as I'm concerned. It's a featherweight film. Bill Condon directs Mr. Holmes, a new twist on the world's most famous detective. In 1947, an aging Sherlock Holmes, played as a 93-year-old by Ian McKellen, returns from a journey to Japan where, in search of a rare plant with powerful restorative qualities, he has witnessed the devastation of nuclear warfare. In his remote seaside farmhouse, Holmes faces the end of his days tending to his bees, with only the company of his housekeeper, played by Laura Linney, and her young son Roger. Grappling with the diminishing powers of his mind, Holmes comes to rely upon the boy as he revisits the circumstances of the unsolved case that forced him into retirement and searches for answers to the mysteries of life and love before it's too late.
Well, it was only a few years back, Fahad, that Sherlock Holmes became part of popular classics in the sense that nobody needs to hold any rights to film Sherlock Holmes anymore, which explains, so many versions that we watch on television, so many versions we've seen on film, of course. Now, this is yet another Sherlock Holmes. How different is it from the other ones? Because I haven't seen the film.
Well, absolutely. Now, given that it's Ian McKellen, who's enjoying a wonderful phase in his career, God bless him, such a talented actor, and him playing Holmes at the age of 93, is an extraordinary take on the great detective. If you're thinking that this is a murder mystery or a whodunit, it's nothing of the sort. It's really a quiet meditation on mortality, on growing old, and about Holmes, and the tragedy of Holmes, that he has, as he says at one point in the film, that he has been profoundly alone. And he has had only his intellect for company. And at this age and at this stage of life, he's losing his mind. So the one thing that kept him company all through his life is also abandoning him. And so it's just an elegy really on life and love, as we talked about. And of course, there are some small elements of, whodunit and all of that. But really, other than that, it's a meditation, and it's a beautiful meditation. Well, obviously, if you're in the market for quiet, sensible, meaningful cinema, then this is a film for you. As far as I'm concerned, it's a complete and utter dekho.
That's it, guys. That was Friday Double Bill for you. Tell us what you think of the movies. Tell us what you think of the show. And yes, please do subscribe to our channel.